when am I going to retire, and why am I still here? And a lot of it was that I was really concerned about 10 years ago that if I left, the SSG program might die. And I couldn't bear the thought of the company moving forward without that program. And so Perry Burkhart asked me to put together a business plan of what I would like to do, and then I came up with my part-time thing, and so that's basically what I've done for 10 years. But I think it's okay now for me to retire when I look at what Jeff and Greg and Lori are committing to with the SSG. They're all in. I mean, for gosh sakes, they're giving away automobiles as incentives. And I never thought I'd see the day where something like that would occur. But they're definitely in. And we have to make sure that all of you are in, and then all of your account managers are in. I was doing a little estimating while someone else was talking earlier, and my thought always, if we're gravitating towards that upper third client, according to my son's research with his clients, which are typically upper third, they're way over $1 million right now. They're probably close to $1.2 million average production. So if you look at each one of those over a 10-year period, my belief is they're going to be right around $1 million in potential business from Burkhart Dental Supply. So if you take, $60,000 a year in merchandise times 10 years, that's $600,000, and then there's going to be a 3% escalation, so that'll probably take it up to $800,000 by the time we get to the end of 10 years. Typically, a client will purchase 50% of their merchandise total in equipment over a 10-year period, so that will probably be another $300,000 or $400,000. So it's my feeling that client over the next 10 years is going to be worth $1 million to Burkhart. So if I'm an account manager and I'm looking at these clients with the potential of $1 million, if I had 50 clients on the SSG program doing essentially all of their business with me, that's a half a million dollars. Not average sales in to those clients. So $500,000 in sales. How much would that be in commissions, Reedy? Be about $5 million would be $300,000 in commissions. So again, not a bad neighborhood. 50 accounts you could call on 25 a week. Working 4 days a week, you'd be looking at about 6 clients per day on a 4-day call schedule. Each client is probably going to take, again, this is an estimate of 20 hours for the SSG over the course of a year. So, there's some work involved, but when you look at that total amount with the return that you're going to get from it, it's a fairly small investment of time in order to have a territory like that your potential revenues for commissions would be $300,000. And I don't think that's a stretch. If you look at our really good SSG customers, I think quite a few of them are averaging $60,000 a month right now. We have some that are twice that, so that's not a stretch.
$60,000 a month?
I'm sorry. 5,000 or 6,000 a month in supplies. 60,000 a year. I got a little ahead of myself there. I got excited thinking about those commissions, so I apologize. But I think you guys need to set the tone, with your expectations, with your help, because as we've already found with just as we started to go into this, that it isn't all black and white. And so it's really easy for someone to encounter one of these problems and then they throw up their hands. And they say, well, I'm not going to do SSGs anymore because it's too hard. And so, as a branch manager, you really need to be there to help them and show them, and it's not that hard. If we get some good information, we can put together a good SSG that will be successful. I've been reviewing the SSG failures for the last 7, 8, 9 years, and there's one common theme that I'm seeing is that they're often ill-conceived. There wasn't a lot of work that went into the front end. It was, let's get this person on a guarantee, get going, and so that we can get some merchandise sales. And then all of a sudden, the problems begin. And often they're not resolved until we get to the end of 12 months. And then that's where those ill-conceived guarantees, we end up writing checks. And a lot of times we didn't do anything wrong other than not getting good information. The account manager gave it a good effort as far as saving money, and we probably did save the money if we'd had the right numbers to begin with. The best time to correct an ill-conceived guarantee is at the end of the first quarter. When you go into that first quarter check and all of a sudden these red flags are popping up, it's time to say, time out. Let's take a look and see what we did to start the program. What information did we have? Was it the right information? And it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you might have to reconstruct the guarantee based on the new information that you're now getting, the complete information that you're now getting at the end of the first quarter. Now, the guaranteed percentage could go up or it could go down, depending on your ability to go back to 90 days prior when you were putting it together. If you have all that information, you say, well, now wait a minute, there were exclusions that we should have put into the first document that we didn't. So that original number that we guaranteed is not correct. So let's go back and correct that original guaranteed number. And it's also a great time to go over with the doctor what he or she has agreed to do. Because if you think that they have a complete understanding of the SSG, when you get their signature on that document, they don't. They've heard probably 50% of what you've said. Some of them, after they sign the document, they're waiting for their rebate check. I've had doctors say that. When do I get my rebate? It's not a rebate program, darn it. But that was what they were hearing when you were presenting. So we need to do a better job up front. And there are going to be gray areas that you may have to have more clarification. You may have to customize the starting letter to accommodate some gray areas in the guarantee. We're going to start a process here. We're going to go through some things, and I don't mean to put anyone on the spot or embarrass anyone, but I'd like to do this exercise where we are going to present the problem. Kathy will draw a business card.
I'm not drawing, you're drawing.
Okay, and the person that whose name is on the business card will be asked to give their explanation. We're going to start with existing customers. What is the benefit of putting an existing customer on an SSG? Mary.
Ladies first. Lisa, you're next.
I ain't no lady.
Does this benefit to us or them?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Both.
It depends on what the answer is, depending what you're looking at.
Yeah.
But if part of the problem I look at with an existing client is that you're competing with yourself. So if you're doing a really years, the SSG will create a great document, but you have to have that discussion with.
Right, now you're getting into concerns. We're looking for benefits.
Okay, benefit. The benefit is that you have a continual. You have a continual verbiage. You have this conversation with them every quarter. You're a little bit more of a partner with them versus just taking their supplies. So you hope to become a business partner and creating a better relationship with that client.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think, ultimately, once a year, clients feel like they need to look at their bottom line, and one of the things they always look at is supplies. So that usually happens in the beginning of every year. Right at the tax season, right at the end of the year, this is a great way that you can have a conversation with your doctors and just tell them, or not tell them, share with them where they're at, what percentage they're at, so that you have this pre-existing concept of savings.
Good. I've said for years that we're only one price comparison away from losing our very good account if we're not doing any kind of review with that account. And I don't think we have to be afraid anymore of we're working with an account, but we don't know how well we're doing. And I know at one time account managers were reluctant to really want to get into the numbers because I'm getting all the business here, and what if the number's not good? But the reality is I don't recall encountering situations where our number was bad. The account managers are predisposed to do a great job for all of their clients, and they do. And so generally the number is, well, even more than generally, it's going to be okay. So I don't think we need to.
Fear. Definitely fear.
Yeah. But you are at risk to our competitors, with their discounting programs, their rebate programs, and they come in and they will use phony prices in order to attract your very good customer. If you don't have a review process with that very good customer, you could very easily lose them. And I'll get into it later on how you can combat the 20% off thing with your very good customer. Okay, need concerns, Kathy. Who's going to give us concerns? David. Concerns with putting an existing customer on an SSG.
The very thing that emailed you earlier in the week, missing a number that was a historical number. That's my only concern about putting them on an SSG.
Say that again, what's the problem?
Pardon me?
You guarantee a historical number, and the first year they're only guarantee you're higher. And you have to dig in and try to find out why.
It never happened. So you didn't set it up right?
No, actually, what we found was they used to buy their needles and wand accessories from us, and they no longer buy them from us, and that's about $1,000 more than they spent previously on those products. So that's half of it. The other half. So
What could we do to be more careful? Can you think of anything that we could do to have a better chance of being successful if we were going to guarantee an existing customer? Any suggestions?
the only thing I would do after this one in the future is I'll want to break down exactly what their outside purchases were last year. Not
That would-
necessarily the vendor, but what product categories, so that I know if the product category is added, what it is.
That would be good. The other thing that I would suggest is maybe look at 2 or 3 years of history with your account manager, because you can occasionally have an anomaly, a 1-year anomaly. It could be 0.5% less for whatever reason. Maybe it was a buying cycle. Maybe in December the accountant said spend money 1 year. And so they actually spend, for 13 months of supplies in a 12-month period, and then the next year they would only spend 11 months because it's going to balance out. And so you could have a considerable anomaly in supply purchases, but if you looked at 2 years, your number would be much more correct. So I think that that's another thing that we should consider, especially if we have a really low number with an existing client, is let's look at 2 or 3 years of information rather than just 1. But it's a tremendous risk. I mean, my first question to the account manager who wants to do a conversion for a client is, hey, I understand why you would want to. You want to give the customer everything that they're entitled to. You'd like to get an extra commission, but please tell me what you're going to do differently for the next 12 months. What will you do differently? Because you're going to have to do better. You've been doing great, but you're going to have to do better. What does that look like? What's your business plan for the next 12 months?